Well, the McDonald's are ready. Got the cans. We're heading the plane right now to go to Prince Edward Island. I was exhausted this morning. As you guys know, travel gets to you a lot. Flying everywhere the last couple of weeks, and then I think just the release of knowing that, it's a little bit of some downtime coming, I think has played a role. I was tired this morning. Were you tired this morning?
Yeah.
I was exhausted this morning. Anyway, we had a number of horses race yesterday. I wanted to talk about all of them because there was a little bit of everything, right? Wasn't there? I think it was kind of sad. I said to somebody yesterday, somebody asked, well, complete unknown, what's wrong with him? Well, I think he did displace yesterday, and here's my take on the displacement. Now, the displacement is make some noise after he flipped his pallet. You can see some bruising on there. And initially we thought, well, it was from grabbing him. Now, there was no redness yesterday, but I could hear him making a noise pulling up. And just think the horse is trying hard. He's working his butt off. And if you guys have ever, I know there's a lot of people out there that train horses and drive horses maybe that watch these videos. If you've ever trained a young horse real hard, whether it be in the spring. Can I help you, sweetheart?
I like this thought.
Yeah, we're going to talk about her in a second, honey. Once in a while, you'll hear them displace. And I think that's just, I don't want to say the word exhaustion, but I think it's tired. And to me, the horse is just trying hard. And I'm well aware moving him back to the front probably wasn't the best move, but coming off him shutting his air off and climbing up on top of Joe Bongiorno on the first turn, it was pretty clear I had to move the horse back to the front. And I'm sure the person least happy about it was probably Joe Bongiorno because it likely cost him the race. So I believe that's a Burke horse. So to them, sorry about that, but the horse was coming off a week where he showed some redness and some bruising in his palate, and a little bit more than the week before when James drove him. I think when he was second, he raced good, but should have probably won. I think we look at that race as a horse race, and you're like, hey, that horse isn't racing as well as he should. I think it's always important to look back at the horse himself and say, here's a tiny little horse that was a throwaway, literally a throwaway at the Harrisburg sale, that has paced 52 twice, I think. And yesterday, J.K. Mega was a winner in 152 and 4. Complete Unknown was last, paced 153 flat. He's a 2-year-old. So I think it's important for people to recognize the entire situation. And it's not that anybody's saying, well, what happened to him? Oh, I mean, we all just enjoy the fact that he's a nice little horse. But as I said to everybody last time when we went to the Poconos, what did I tell you would happen? All the horses that might be sire stake horses just drop right down because they want no part of, probably Shalom Hanover and also Starstruck Dreamer. I don't know that we want a part of them, and I think pretty highly of Arcold. As I was talking to a lot of people yesterday, and Amy and I were talking back and forth too on the phone when we were from airport to airport, and she's driving over here. And I told her, I said, in hindsight, I regret 26-1. I regret all that because I was looking for a fight, right? I made the reference to the guy in the bar picking a fight with the bigger guy. Everything looks cool until you get your head beat in. And when it comes to us yesterday, I was trying to figure out a way to beat Starstruck Dreamer, and I just don't think there was a way to beat him. Most definitely yesterday. Now, horses, you'll see horses throwing clunkers. You'll see horses regress a little bit. He can't be that good forever, can he? I mean, unless he's just a generational horse.
I don't know. But I don't look at it the same way that you look at it. But also I don't drive, so.
Well, how do you look at it?
I look at it as like, don't worry about that horse. Let's get all the money we can from what's left over.
100%. But
whereas you're like, let's try and beat that horse. I already know we can't.
Hold on. We're saying the same thing.
I knew in the Poconos we couldn't beat that horse.
So hold on. We're saying the same thing. You're saying it a different way. Let's get all the money we can. Don't worry about that horse. Well, I'm going to tell you something.
You just said
for me to get all the money I can, I have to beat that horse. That's what I have to do.
No, I mean like from what's left after he wins.
Oh, so what we should do is we should go to the race and say, it's impossible to beat that horse.
Yes.
So, okay, well, I think that's a pretty defeatist attitude, isn't it?
No, but it's also preserving our horse a little bit.
So that's the whole thing. So what you're saying in any athletic way would be, all right, we never want our boxer to box other fighters that he might not be able to beat or she might not be able to beat because we don't want to lose.
No, but he could have been second.
This is competition. You go to the Olympics. You don't get to go to the Olympics running and hiding from other athletes. If you want to have the best horse, the best player, the best anything, the best team, you have to be the best.
On the ground.
Well, that's racing. That's what that is exactly the conversations that James and I have. A lot of these conversations are born from hindsight, by the way. Right? If I go out and I beat that horse in 49-2 yesterday, we're not talking about Starstruck Dreamer. Right? No one knew how good he was. He looked that good. I told you guys how good he looked in the Poconos. Everybody thought, well, Shalom Hanover went faster, and Shalom Hanover is a very good horse also. But that horse yesterday, I got a real good look at him. He is a freak of nature. We have a very good horse. It's almost the start of Rocky when he has to fight the Russian. You look at the Russian, you're like, you can't beat that. But you got to go out and you got to compete, right? And that's the whole thing about racing. You can't compete hard every week, and that's probably a lot of things ended up with him getting beat for second. Me trying to fight the Russian, me trying to race with that horse played a role. 100% it did. But that's racing in general. Leaving, the shipping 3 weeks in a row. Now he's gone 50, 49, 50. Takes its toll, especially when you got to ship 5 hours to do it. So it's very simple, little reset. It said to Tim, have the vet assess him. So we have Dame Hanover going out to Dr. Brown's if we can get him out there quickly. Just to have a look. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Make sure he gets lots of fluids. We don't train him up probably this week in between starts. 7 days. We're not going to train him. He's been going really hard. And hope you don't get in with those other two horses. And I think you're right. In some sense also, you got to be a little more conservative with him. This is almost 5 weeks in a row he's left, except for the little bobble at the gate with James. He's either been first over on the front or in the 2-hole and had to leave to get there. Be nice to see him just drop over off the car into the 4-hole, 5-hole, and be second over. So in that regard, we do have to do that. But we can't go into races. This isn't a race where you pick up the program, you say, well, this is a decorated animal. We have to be careful. We have to stay away from this horse. These are 2-year-old races, and you have to be able to compete. And listen, I just never want to win a race being beat first. There's always going to be, it's always going to settle out. Here's the best, here's the second best, third best, whatever. Here's the pecking order of the division. And it's much more established now than it was 2 weeks ago. But going into yesterday's race, I liked our horse. I liked Starstruck Dreamer, but there's a little bit different. When Tyler Buter drove him last week. He backed him off the car. He moved him over, floated him over to the front. He never really was taxed at any point in the mile. Whereas yesterday, he was hot coming off the car. I forced him to let us go. Where am I going here? Am I going straight, I guess? I don't know how you guys are, but the maps on your car, especially when you're trying multiple interchanges, like there's 11 highways here all jammed together at this particular juncture. And it just says, oh wait, you're supposed to veer to the right back there, or veer to the left.
Just follow the cars out on this road.
What if they're not going to the airport there, smarty pants?
No, just follow the ones that are getting off the exit.
Well, if I did that, I'd be at that exit over there, which I thought I was supposed to take, which I really wasn't supposed to take.
No,
anyway, hey, you. Get your Big Lebowski's on. You should be quiet back there.
What does that even mean?
The dude? You don't know what the dude is? So you're too young. Oh my god. You're banned from talking for 5. From Muscles Inc.
Muscles?
Monsters Inc.
Wazowski, that's what Monsters Inc.
Oh my god. That's Mike Kozowski, isn't it? This is the Big Lebowski. It's quite a bit different. God. Everybody watching this video knows who it is.
I don't.
You're not watching it, you're in it. And you're 7. Enough! You can watch The Big Lebowski. It's a fantastic movie. You should Google it. Anyway, with yesterday, with respect to that Colt, what's your car just have a stroke?
You push the brake with your foot.
Oh, that's a good place to put the parking brake. Parking brake
Push your
button.
foot. Who puts their foot up there?
Me? Everyone?
Okay, can you turn it off?
How do I do that? Just there. Okay, I see.
How was this adding?
Well, if you watch the movie, you'd know. Anyway, enough. We're talking about the colt right now. Could have stayed that all day, So, I just felt that if we could put him in a little bit of a more uncomfortable place, maybe that would bode well for us. And again, when you look at it and say, no, I don't agree, well, you don't agree because you watched the race. You didn't agree before the race. You agreed after the race. So, Atomic Sound of a race, great. Finished third, paced 150 again, and we'll be back. And I will tell you this, he scoped very good, which is very good to hear. And he had his ears up, nipping at me and playing after the race. So maybe he's just too dumb to get too concerned about it. That was the hotel I was going to stay at, the Delta. It's just a little too expensive. He's not that he's dumb. He's just a very, very nice horse. You can tell. When you're standing beside a nice horse, you can tell the difference. There's a little bit of a difference. Just a little bit of something there that the other ones don't have. And I'm happy to report he has it. So Atomic Hanover was good. Complete Unknown did everything he could. He did displace, making noise yesterday. There wasn't a lot of redness or bruising after the report. So again, that only leads to my theory that he was just trying really hard and did displace. But it was after the race. He flipped and then flipped back. And we talked about this with horses before, where they'll make a break, or after a race they'll what was the name of that filly we had that she was such a sweetheart? The Trotter. Do you remember? She reminded me so much of My Jazz.
Yeah.
Anyway, she would do that after the race if she was exhausted or if she made a break. It was almost like a release. Who is it?
Wasn't it Purple Aura?
No. She would. You're right. No, this is long ago. Long ago. The Ontario bred that we used to race at Woodbine, and Danny drove her sometimes. She ended up being had the most wins of any horse ever the year after. She did good for everybody that ever touched her anyway. Complete Unknown, I thought, raced pretty good. Now, the rest of our day was decent. JK Maga was awesome. So nice to see this horse coming around, and I'll be the first to admit, I did not think it would happen. I thought we'd seen his best, although I knew he wasn't as good on a half-mile track. I just didn't think he possessed enough ability to pace 151, 152. Not only did he pace 52, can I help you?
If the airplane's going that way, then why are we going this way?
The airport's over there, sweetheart, but we're parking at Park and Fly and getting a ride over to the airport because we're going to leave for a week, right? Yeah. So JK Maga, just very, very pleased the way this horse is racing, and I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong with regards to how it is, and I think this is a cautionary tale. I might have been wrong, but I knew he was worth more, and that's why we still have him, because I didn't want to sell him for what we were offered for him out of the sale. So, just very, very pleased that the horse raced well, and he didn't just race good. He quarter-poled him to the front, dug in to hold off two horses and win going to the wire. That's what good horses do. So really, really pleased with his effort yesterday. Looks like money, 52-2. I mean, there's a lot we could talk about with respect to Looks Like Money's mile and Looks Like Money himself. At the end of the day, you talk about, missing horses and not being drawn into fights. Well, 52-2 is something we have to stay away from when it comes to Looks Like Money. We need to find a much more consistent class for him. I've been saying that a lot, but we can. Like a 40 claimer, something like that, an optional 40 claimer would do Looks Like Money very well, I believe. Dixie Dream, I think longer odds, got away at the back. This is condition racing 101. I hoped when we bought this filly she'd make like an open pacing mare at Northfield in turn. She's just a lower condition horse at Mohawk. Do we change that? I mean, maybe in the winter we do. I don't think there's any need to move her just yet. I don't think it's going to serve anybody any good moving her right yet. But we'll continue to watch and pay attention to what's going on. I was really pleased with the way she raced last start with James. 2 starts ago with James. So we'll see how she is. And again, just coming off last night, scope. I don't think they said there's anybody there to scope last night, but draw blood and see where you're at with respect to Dixie Dream. Chicago Hall raced good last night, but again, off almost 3 weeks. The cover really did him no favor. He doesn't need to be through. That cover has to carry him into the stretch, and then I think he's a closing second. Instead, Luke has to try and get around that cover that was stalled. I don't know if we ever got by him. And out there 3 wide, end up 4th. Just beat for second. The horse popped out of the tool, was a runaway winner. Just jogged, but I thought Chicago Hall raced well. And then Perfect Thought. How special is this filly to be battling all she's battling, to be she wasn't sound after or going into her last start. Wasn't as sound as she could be, but she was very, very good last night. And I've never seen her, other than when James came first over into those two good fillies, I've never seen her first over before. Not only was she first over into aged horses and come 27 seconds flat on the end of it first over, but she just looked so easy doing it. Like Brett getting in the last turn, like, oh my God, now is this horse going to give him a tussle? This horse was 8-5. No fuss, no muss, no problem. She just busted them up and drove off. That's after 2 weeks. That's a great prep race as we head into the James Lynch Memorial next week at the Poconos. James will drive her in Pennsylvania. Tim will take her down next week. And hopefully she'll have a great run for us in the Poconos. We get the Poconos, the Jugettes coming up, the Breeders' Crown. I'm missing one in the middle. Oh, the race at Northfield Park. I forget what it's called. There's 4 or 5 big races coming up for Perfect Thought over the next 2 months. So it's an exciting time for us at the stable, an exciting time for the Perfect Thought group. And then Yo Mister last night, 55. We got to be able to do better. A couple of these older horses, we got to find them in spots where they can just do a little bit better. They're useful horses, but not going in 52 and not chasing. I would say Yo Mister was so-so last night. Very similar to a horse that trotted in 58 at Northfield. We just need him to come forward his next start. So we'll see if we can do that. Anyway, that was yesterday in a nutshell. I'm on my way to Prince Edward Island. We got Time on my side tonight. Cherry's Girl races this afternoon. I'll also be driving Woodmere Bullet in Prince Edward Island. We've Save America today. Highland Fire and Ice makes her first lifetime start at Georgian Downs. Making Green Sunday Royale will also be going to Georgian Downs. Those are important, you're right. My Name's Swaney will be racing tonight. And then we close out the night with Nuclear. So that is it in a nutshell, everybody. I am going to hopefully have the time of my life. It's been a long time since I made my way to Prince Edward Island for an extended period of time. Yeah, for you it's been a really long time.
Amy.
The last time Amy and I were on PEI, it was for what, 9 hours? 8 hours?
Yeah.
Wasn't a very long. That's the year I won the Gold Cup.
Do we
so
leave these in here or give them?
No, you always leave them right here, sweetie.
It's been like 67.
So it's been a long time since I got to go to Prince Edward Island. Excited to, see some people I haven't seen in a long time, and excited just to soak up as much as I can of Old Home Week. So if you're in Prince Edward Island, make your way over to the Maritimes. Be happy to sit down and have a beer with you. If you are not in the Maritimes, what are you doing?
Be in the Maritimes.
Anyway, take care, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. I will talk to you all very soon.
Bye-bye.